Kuname was one of 4 lodges in the Karungwe concession area. This was the beautiful dining room at the main lodge, where gourmet quality evening meals were served. The safari vehicles were the typical driver and shotgun seat and 3 rows of bucket seats for guests, but were unusual in that they had an extra seat out on the front bumper for a game tracker. Naturally, we had a briefing before setting out for the first game drive.
So, but suddenly there, lots of branches hanging over the road. Please don't touch any branches because some branches got a thorn.
Thorny.
So, but suddenly they left his hands. So mind your head. Please don't touch that. Try to avoid that branches. Okay. Because the thorns or snakes now start to rot. The tree snake hanging over there.
I never saw any snakes during this trip, but then again I never saw anybody reach up to touch a branch either. Once we were outside the gated compound of the lodge, you really were in the African bush. Game drives are usually early in the morning or late in the afternoon, because that's when the animals are most active. The lower sun is also good for photography, where the light isn't harsh and directly from above the subject. The guides from all of the lodges keep radio contact with each other so they can compare notes in real time about where the best animal sightings can be found. And it wasn't long before we got what we came for. Remember, this was shot on an iPhone, so this big male ended up only about 15 feet from where I was sitting. These elephants were making quick work of the undergrowth. Watch how the elephant uses her foot to help release a tasty morsel.
Let's use the legs. Look the thumbs. All the thumbs is in the mouth. Oh.
The private reserves make viewing the Big Five a priority. Next, we saw a female buffalo and her mate, a male with very large, thick horns. At sundown, they find a picnic spot and bring out cold drinks and snacks as you take it all in. One of the advantages to a private game reserve is that you don't have to be back at camp by sundown, as is often the case at the national parks. Although we never saw any of the big cats out hunting at night, we did have the experience of seeing a pair of blazing eyes gazing at us from the bush. After an early morning game drive, Coffee and Muffins makes a nice break at one of the water holes where you get to watch the hippos bathe. At last, the radio reports a sighting of rhinos, and you make your way over to where they are feeding. The private reserves are very secure, and the national park gives them rhinos because they know they will be safe from poachers. I noticed that there were notches cut into the rhino's ears, and I asked our guide what they meant. Eddie, would you explain what you're looking at?
Oh, I'm just looking for the ears marking. Oh. Because the ears notch, because this is called the 2 notch. You see this one? 2 notch. It's R22.
One had a hole
this
in
one.
Its ear. The
and
big
the other
guy
one
had a hole.
Yeah.
So this is Rhino 22.
There's a number. Yeah, this is R22. The one is 2 notch.
The ear notches don't hurt the animal, and it allows the rangers and the veterinarians to keep track of each individual and monitor their health.